Hello, everyone. I'd like to continue with the reading from my manuscript, The Real Beauty and the Beast, and today we are in chapter 12 titled Stormy or Calm. I woke up to the familiar ring of my phone. It was my son, as usual. Amma, how's the competition going? He asked. I updated him on our progress. We just finished the blog and the video script. We are ready to record. That's great, Amma, but it's not going to be easy. Do you know who's on the panel? He sounded more informed than I was. The three of us hadn't even thought about the jury yet. No idea, I replied. Do you know who they are? Yes, he said. Mr. G is on the panel, along with several top influencers from different fields. If you make it, it's going to be huge. But Amma, it's not going to be easy to impress them. I sighed. Why do you always bring up Mr. G like he's some kind of a mystery man? Doesn't he have a name? Why is he just an alphabet? What makes him so powerful? He laughed gently. Amma, Mr. G is the most influential person. If you can impress him with your work, your message will travel far. But his team is extremely selective and observant. It's not easy to even get noticed. I don't even know what he looks like, I muttered. Anyway, I'll give it my best shot. I'm not doing this to win, but to create impact. This is a chance for my voice to be heard, and I believe our message, if implemented, can make a real difference. That's the spirit, he said. All the best, Amma. We hung up. He rushed to work, and I needed to get ready too. Meanwhile, Maya and Soumya were preparing for the video shoot. This competition had become more than just an event for them. It was a way to heal, to move beyond their past. Later that day, we gathered in our little makeshift studio. Maya, with quiet strength drawn from painful memories, smiled and stood before the camera. Her words, filled with hope, were inspiring. Here is Maya's recorded video script. Relationship. What does it mean to you, me, and us? Relationships are always like a game. For some, they end up being winners, and for some, they are losers. Do you really think it's a game? You may say no. Then why do some relationships fail while some do pass in the test of ties? I have no clue why it works that way. All I know is that good relationships between people and countries lead to something fruitful for one another. A good relationship is like a profit game for everyone. Imagine if all countries in the world had good relations with one another. Will there ever be a scope of conflicts? No. All conflicts would end with this. So what do we work on? Good relationships or focus on ending conflicts? Don't you think it means the same? Because end of conflicts is the beginning of a good relationship. So are you in it with me? Let's work on it from the grassroots level. Let's unite with each other in a family, then extend it to our extended families, then to our friends, whom you will soon feel like a family. Let the string of networking that has started from grassroots level never stop. Let it follow a cycle of continuity. Then you will see one state uniting with another, and the entire country would one day stand up for one another, helping one another. This networking will further extend to our neighboring countries and likewise. And the whole world would one day become one huge family that's working for the well being of the world. This is because if we strengthen things at grassroots level, then nothing can pull our roots from its soil of culture, and you will never see it soiled again. Is this practical? I don't know, but we can definitely try. Human relationships are beyond anything because it's bounded by the thread of humanity, and that is why we are all called humans and not animals. However, I find more humanity in animals these days. They look more human. Isn't it time for a shift in our thinking so that we don't have to replace the word humanity with a created word called animanity in the dictionary? Let's see states without borders, countries without borders, and stress on good relationship building rather than focusing on ending conflicts. Though it's like two sides of a coin. Even if you flip it this time, the end result will be the same. That is good relationship, which will end all conflicts. As the heading goes, relationship, what does it mean to you, me, and us? Let's not see different meanings to this and let it all boil down to one and the same, that is good relationship building. As we post her recorded video on the platform, we hear a voice at the other end. A live stream. Suddenly, a girl, maybe aged 15 to 16 years, appear on the screen and say something shocking for the three of us. Do you get enough respect in your family? I'm not sure if he toggled on the screen by mistake, but it looked like the child was trying to convey something to Maya after listening to her recording. We got a little scared, as if someone had probed into our reality and was watching from somewhere and knew all about us. We quickly shut down the computer and restarted it. To our relief, the live stream did not appear now, so we confidently posted the blog on the platform. I'm sharing a copy of the blog with the readers. It's an AI assisted, edited version. Relationship. What does it mean to you, me, and us? Relationship often feels like a game. For some, they lead to victory. For others, they bring disappointment. But do you really think it's just a game? Maybe not. But then, why do some relationships thrive while others fall apart? I don't have all the answers, but one thing I know: good relationships, whether between people or countries, lead to something meaningful and fruitful for everyone involved. A good relationship is like a win win equation. Imagine a world where every country maintained healthy ties with one another. Would there still be room for conflict? No, conflicts would naturally fade away. So, what should we work on? Building good relationships or ending conflicts? Aren't they the same? Because end of conflicts is always the beginning of a good relationship. Are you with me on this? Let's begin at the grassroots level. Let's build warmth and unity within our own families, then extend it to our neighboring extended families, next to our friends, who will soon feel like a family too. Let this web of connection never break. Let it grow into a cycle of continuity. Imagine states supporting each other, then an entire country standing united, and someday this unity will ripple across borders, reaching our neighboring countries and beyond. Eventually, the entire world uh, could become one giant family working for the well-being of all. Because when our roots are strong, grounded in our soil of culture, no one can uproot us, and nothing will ever soil that foundation again. Is this practical? I don't know, but we can try. Human relationships go beyond material or political boundaries. They are tied together by humanity. And that's what makes us human and not animals. But honestly, sometimes I see more humanity in animals. They often behave more like humans than we do. Isn't it time for a shift in mindset before we are forced to create a new word in the dictionary called animanity to describe what humanity has lost? Let's envision a world without borders, states without fences, countries without divisions. Let's focus on building good relationships, because when we do, conflicts will dissolve on its own. It's like two sides of the same coin. Flip it any way you want, and the outcome will be the same: strong relationships that bring peace. So, as the title asks, relationship, what does it mean to you, me, and us? Let's not see different meanings for each. Let it all boil down to one simple truth: relationship means building bridges together. At the end, when we post the blog to the competition website, something unexpected happened. We receive our first comment: I lost my footwear. Where were you all this while? Wish we had met earlier. The message felt strange and illogical. We assumed someone had posted it by mistake. Confused, we shrugged it off and chose not to dwell on it. We had enough on our plate already and didn't need more mystery to solve. Still, the thought lingered in the back of our minds. The odd messages first during the video live stream, and now this cryptic comment were beginning to feel like pieces of a puzzle. But we didn't have the time or energy to put them together. Life was demanding, both at work and at home. And so we moved on. That evening, Maya, Soumya, and I sat down to reflect on the competition. Deep down, we knew we probably wouldn't make it to the final rounds, but strangely, that didn't upset us. We had found joy in the process, writing our blogs, recording the videos, and sharing our thoughts with the world. It had become more than a competition. It was a way of healing, of believing that even in our brokenness, we might still bring hope to someone else. We couldn't yet fix the cracks in our own little world, and yet here we were, daring to imagine a world united by peace and compassion, daring to dream of global harmony while still mending our own hearts. Despite all the troubles, we remained hopeful. We had finally chosen the topic for our next blog and video, and in the next chapter, I will share that with you. Our goal remains unchanged to explore every social issue that plagues our society and to present thoughtful ways we might begin to make a difference. And today, unlike many days before, it ends with a smile and not with tears. That's all for the day. Thanks for watching and thanks for your time.